minutes. 10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You've been in Rocky for a couple of weeks now. How have you found it?
Sweaty, humid. It's been pretty cool though. The heat, or the humidity at least, has been a bit of an adjustment. Sweat management on court is a whole new aspect of basketball, which I'd never kind of had to deal with before. But it's it's just something new, another challenge. I think we're gonna have to have like an army of people with towels ready to just get out and let me kind of wipe my hands off. Maybe we put everyone in the front row with a towel so I can just quickly reach over and grab one and wipe off.
Where were you before Rocky?
Immediately before coming to Rocky, I was back in Melbourne, so it was pretty warm there. I was just running through pre-season with my old club, Kilsyth. So it was hot there during the summer, but dry heat, so very different. Prior to that, I was over in England, so that was through the English winter, which was cold and rainy and pretty miserable.
You're managing studies whilst you're also playing. You're also doing little bits and pieces for us with our juniors. Tell us about what you're studying.
Yeah, so I'm studying a Masters of Psychological Research Methods, which sounds a lot probably heftier than it really is. It's essentially just a course in kind of nailing down the nuances of the experimental method. So doing a lot of stats and stuff like that, as well as learning how to write grant proposals, and kind of really getting a good feel for writing, I guess, journal articles or submissions for journal articles and stuff like that.
Wow, yeah, definitely sounds intense. You also recently announced some pretty exciting news. Your partner Lacey and yourself are expecting. What's been one thing that sort of surprised you about going through the pregnancy?
Well, it's our first time going through it, so the whole thing is a surprise, really. I don't know. The biggest surprise for me, I think, or the weirdest thing that I've seen that I didn't realise that happened, is like all the like baby movements that you actually see on the outside, particularly over the last maybe 3-4 weeks. You start seeing, like on the bump, these big like bulges just pop out. I don't know if you've ever seen Aliens, but you know, like in Aliens where there's that little thing that just pops out of her stomach. It looks like that's about to happen. So I've been cautious to avoid having Lacey watch that, but I really kind of want to just pop it on as well and freak her out.
And how's Lacey handled it?
Yeah, she's doing really well. I think we've been really lucky. She's had a so far kind of complication-free pregnancy. Hasn't had any particularly major morning sickness or any real hiccups. So fingers crossed it keeps going that way.
I guess one Auryn MacMillan fun fact is you're a vegan. I think you said you shifted to that diet a couple of years ago. How has the beef capital of Australia matched with you being a vegan?
Yeah, so coming up on 3 years being vegan now. Actually, Rocky's been pretty accommodating so far, surprisingly. I was a little worried coming up here, but I mean, first night we were here, we went and had some Mexican food. They had an actual full separate vegan menu, which was really good. And everywhere else that we've been out to eat's been really accommodating. So yeah, I haven't had any issues. And there's a couple of little health food stores and stuff around. Really good fruit and veg shop. Got to give a shout out to Phil with his fruit and veg. He's been hooking us up every week. So yeah, no issues.
Fantastic. And the other thing that's maybe a little bit unique is you're a mad gamer. Tell us about the game you play on the computer, and I think you even play in leagues.
Yeah, well, so I don't really join any leagues at the moment, but I do. I play and watch a lot of video games. Prior to moving over to England, I was full on into it, and I've had really crummy internet connections ever since I got to England. So I haven't been able to kind of get amongst it as much as I probably would like, which has probably been a blessing in disguise given that I started uni again. So I've had to kind of dial back my gaming a little bit. But yeah, flat out into League of Legends, Hearthstone, the whole Diablo series, pretty much any first-person shooter. I love the Half-Life series. And I'm always watching Twitch. I was streaming on Twitch for a while. would like to get back into it whenever I can track down a steady internet connection again.
Fantastic. Look, we like to think our fans in Rockhampton are fairly wild. I know you're yet to sort of see what our stadium's like. Tell us about, I guess, the craziest fans you've played in front of and what that was like.
Oh, I played in front of some absolutely wild people, but from what I hear, Rocky's fans are pretty ruthless. I've been hearing stories from people from all over the place. Other friends that have played in the QBL, and then coaches that I know that have coached against Rocky in the QBL as well. And everyone's got some kind of horror stories about coming down and having to deal with the fans here. So that's kind of exciting. I'm kind of walking into the gym here and seeing how the seats are kind of set up. Basically, like everyone sits on top of you on the court, which can make for a pretty exciting atmosphere. Yeah, it reminds me of the kind of setup in Mount Gambier where everyone's on top, and that place is loud. We played a semi-final there a couple of years back, or a conference final, sorry. They ended up beating us with a trash buzzer beater 3, which I had no business going in. But they just about blew the roof off that place. But as far as craziest fans, I played at Duke one time. Duke's fans are just, they're unreal. It's a whole different atmosphere. I mean, the place probably rightly should seat about, 6,000, and they pack about 10,000 in there. So it's packed kind of to the rafters, kind of shoulder to shoulder, ear to ear. And yeah, the fans are just nuts. The fans in Germany were crazy. I don't know why it hasn't kind of trickled over to Australia yet, but they all bring like instruments, big drums, big horns, all that kind of stuff. So even if you've got a crowd with 60 or 70 people in it, they're loud as anything because every one of them is making just obscene amounts of noise.
I guess finally, just wrapping up, what can the Rockets fans expect to see from Auryn MacMillan this season?
I've always just based my game around working hard. Trying to be the guy that dives on the floor. I wear pads on knees and elbows because they're always hitting the ground hard. If you ever meet me, ask me to show you a little thing in my elbow. I've got a little bit of bone floating around there that's pretty gross, just from diving on the floor too much. So that's kind of what I base my game around.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for interviewing for us, Auryn, and we look forward to having you as part of the Rockets in season 2016.
Yeah, no worries. I'm excited.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. This is Houston. Say again, please. Houston, we've had a problem.
In the seawall up at, I forget the name of the team now. In South Australia.
Mount Gambier.
Mount Gambier, yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of the